inside the D Event Center for high school rewinds coverage of the 2015 5A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament. I am Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us. Our second round matchup, the Bingham Miners and the Layton Lancers. Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you along with us, however you're joining us, whether it's through live.ksl.com, DeseretNews.com, or if you're rewatching this anytime on Xfinity On Demand. We're glad to have you with us. This is a rematch of a game earlier in the year in the Elite 8 basketball tournament. It was a 53-50 win for the Layton Lancers, and after that loss, Bingham went on a big run. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's first start with Layton Lancers. It was a scary game in the first round against Hillcrest, but they ride the ship and got things going. Jerice Blackman is the star for Layton. Then that's going to go play for the Gauchos next season, and his younger brother Julian has played extremely well, had an outstanding first game. He was our nuts player of the game in the first round. He's going to be a steady force. It'll be a matter of which Jerice shows up. Is he going to be aggressive, and how they're going to get him involved in this game will be very big. Now for the Bingham Miners, it's about one man. It's Yoli Childs. He rolled his ankle in the first round matchup. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go today. He already lift his way out of the arena. Hopefully he's set up and ready to go. He is the mismatch in the middle for Coach Schroeder and the Miners. As he goes, they go. You know our teams and a couple players to look out for. When we come back, we'll be opening tip-off. You're watching High School Rewind's coverage of the 2015 5A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament. Blackman to jump it up, and is controlled with the Layton Lancers. We mentioned they won that game earlier in the year. That was in December. Up top, Jacoby Kemp. He'll pull for three, and that's off the mark. Rebound grabbed by Childs. On the run with Green and the Miners. One thing to point out in that first matchup, Bingham was still cross-training. They had their bowl game coming up for football. Gehrig was coming back from the left elbow injury. Green was cross-training with football, as well as Layton Park, a couple other players as well. And here's Jared Holman, send out to Green. Green drop in to Yoeli Childs. Holman had the ball slapped away. On the run now was Steele Roberts. He'll hand off to Julian Blackman, and we'll set up the offense with the Layton Lancers. Watts back up top. To Blackman off the screen of Roberts in the lane. Trying to leave it behind. It was a little bit of a between pass. Picked off by Newbold. Down the floor we go with Green. Lead ahead to Holman. Holman goes up, can't get it. And then a foul call. Blackman altered the shot. And of a foul on Jerice Blackman. Holman has done all little things. He was our nudge player of the game in the first round for the Bingham Miners, as he knocks down both free throws. So down the floor we go with Julian Blackman. Outside Roberts, back up top with Julian. Now Watts. Watts kicks out to Jerice. Works on the dribble, and they get him with the carry. And the carry wipes off what would be a top 5 play, and we'll go the other way with Bingham. So down the floor we go. In that first matchup, really the first half was Jacoby Kemp. Kemp had 15 points on that day. Jerice Blackman led all scorers with 16. He had a double-double, 16 and 10. Out of bounds, and we'll stay here with Bingham. Parker inbound to Holman. Kemp comes out. Now in the corner, Newbold will pull for three, and that's off the mark. Rebound is grabbed by Blackman. On the run now with Layton. Julian in the corner to Steele Roberts for three. And Steele Roberts lights it up from the outside. And Layton takes an early 3-2 lead. High post Holman, lob in to Child, slapped away by Blackman. On the run now with Julian. Ahead to Steele Roberts. Watts along the baseline to Kemp. Kemp floated over the top with Julian Blackman. Couldn't get it to go. Childs with the rebound ahead now to Green. Green to Holman. Roberts with him. Holman count the bucket, and he'll go to the line for the three-point play. Foul goes on Steele Roberts. And Holman to the line. And Holman opens up with the first 5 points for the Miners. Pick up the floor now with Julian Blackman. Cross to Jerice. Blackman out to Watts, now to Julian. Julian will drive, loses the handle. Childs comes away with the loose ball, hands off to Green. Green quickly ahead to Holman. And that goes off his knee. And we'll go the other way with the Lancers. Down the floor with Julian. They got Childs in the middle, not playing down low because that's really not Layton's offense. Blackman sent out to Watts, kicks out the angle to Roberts. Blackman inside out to Jerice Blackman for three, and Jerice Blackman.
Jerice Blackman for Layton.
Ties us up at 5. On the angle, cross court to Newbold. Newbold fouled there by Dallin Watts. Second team foul on the Lancers. Gehrig enters the game for Holman. Gehrig, of course, the starting quarterback for the Miners. As Newbold jackknifed that one up and in.
By number 32, Josh Newbold.
Newbold's had a pretty good tournament. And Roberts had a ball go off his hands. Turnover will go with the Miners. Coach Schroeder in his second season taking over the Bingham Miners. Of course, the last state championship for Bingham was in 2006. Brett Somerville at the buzzer against Riverton. Outside, drop back in, Childs, fall away Jay. And Yoli Childs
for Bingham
with his first points. And it's now 9-6 Miners. Cross court to Watts. Julian Blackman. Try to get that one in. Jerice slapped away. Nice poke by Green. Or pardon me, that was Gehrig. Now ahead with Green. Green giving up Newbold. Newbold goes up off the glass. Can't get it to go out of bounds. Off of Childs. And we'll go with the Lancers. Both of which can line up from the outside. Up the floor with Blackman. Outside with Cragen. Lob in to Jerice Blackman. That was off the mark. A turnover, and we'll go with the Miners. Green outside Newbold. In the corner to Gehrig. Pulls for three off the front of the iron. Rebound. Grabbed by Cragen. Cragen on the push. Give it up to Armistead. Armistead reverse out and set up the offense for Layton. Cragen down the lane. Terminates out to Armistead. Now in the corner to Jerice. He'll drive the base, float up. The left hand is fouled by Childs. And Jerice Blackman with the +1 can tie up the game at the free throw line. And Blackman hits the free throw. Jumper on the way, off the mark. Rebound grabbed by Jerice Blackman. Up the floor now with Julian. He terminates, pulls up from the free throw line. And Julian Blackman
for Layton.
His first points. And a 2-point lead for the Lancers. Near side with Parker. Armistead comes and closes out. Here's Green. High post to Childs. Into Newbold. Newbold shuffled his feet. Got caught waiting on Jacoby Kemp. We'll go the other way with Layton. Up the floor now with Julian Blackman. Cody Edwards checked in with the last dead ball for the Lancers. Blackman fall away Jay off the mark. Rebound claimed by Childs. And we got a foul on the floor. And that foul's against Jared Holman. 1:39 remaining in the opening quarter. Cragen into Jerice Blackman. Layton Parker out with him. Blackman up top to Julian. And they'll reset the offense with 1.5 minutes remaining. Off the screen, Edwards. Julian into Jerice. Fall away. Jerice Blackman enjoying an outstanding first quarter. 4-point lead for the Lancers. Gehrig for three. And that's off the mark. Rebound grab by Jerice. On the push. Ahead to Armistead. Armistead drive the baseline, swatted away by Yoli Childs. Armistead lobs in. Up top with Julian. Edwards now over to Cragen. On the baseline, Dries Blackman working on Childs. Try to go up and under and in. Double digits for Blackman. Timeout Bingham. 48 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. And it's a full time, 30-second timeout taken by Coach Schroeder. Out of the timeout, up the floor with Green and the Miners. Green off the screen of Holman, sends out Gehrig. Lob in to Childs. Childs, fall away Jay over Edwards. And Childs now with 4 points in the first quarter. See if the Lancers hold for the final shot of the quarter. 25 seconds remaining. Blackman into the corner. Armistead for three. That one rims out. A rebound grab by Holman. Michael Green will slow it down with 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. Here's Gehrig. Gehrig will work off the screen. Childs out in the corner. Parker thought about it, nearly picked off. Green at the buzzer. And that'll do it for the first quarter, and a strong first quarter from Dries Blackman. He and the Layton Lancers have a 4-point lead at the end of one. Layton 15, Bingham 11. Start of the second quarter, and we'll start with the Miners. Walbeck checked in the game for the Miners. Here he is on the angle. Give it up to Gehrig in the corner, up top to Green. Green near side to Walbeck. Now high post to Holman, back rim on the shot. Rebound taken by Edwards. He hands off to Julian Blackman. And the Lancers on the push. In the corner, Armistead. In the lane, send out. Three on the way from Cragen. Off the front of the iron and the rebound. Claimed by Holman. And it's a foul on Edwards. And that'll be his first and I believe the third team foul on the Lancers. Parker will bring in the front court for Bingham. Cross court, Parker will pull for three, and Layton Parker.
Number 2, Layton Parker for Bingham.
His first points of the game. Pulls Bingham within one. Early part of the second quarter. Up top with Edwards. Now Blackman. And he'll reset the offense for Coach Kelby Miller. Crossover in the lane. Put it up, no. And we got a foul on the floor. That'll be the third team foul on the Miners. And that goes against Walbeck. Armistead tried to lob that in, picked off by Childs. Up the floor now with Parker, leaves it to Yoli Childs, who pulls for three. Leaves it well short, contested by Julian Blackman. On the push now with Dries. Dries into the corner, Julian for three. Julian Blackman from downtown.
For the Lancers.
And it's a 4-point lead for the Lancers. Three on the way from Parker. And Parker with his second tray of the quarter. Right back to a 1-point ball game. Back down the floor with Julian. Out to Edwards. Edwards drop it into Dries. Blackman fires off the mark. And rebound claimed by Cragen. Cragen goes into Yoli Childs, high off the glass and in.
Matt Cragen for the Lancers.
3-point lead for Layton. Off the screen to Childs. Parker sending it to the angle to Gehrig, back up top with Layton Parker. He's hit back-to-back trays. Send out Gehrig, lob in to Yoli Childs. Trapped along the baseline. Cragen with him along with Edwards. Jump hook over the top. And now 6 points for Yoli Childs. Back down the floor with Julian Blackman. Dries holding up top now to Edwards. Edwards along the baseline to Cragen, who reverses and scores.
Matt Cragen, 2 more for the Lancers.
Back up to a 3-point game. First matchup was the same way, back and forth, tight game from beginning to end. Parker. Now with Gehrig. Green and Newbold set to check in the next dead ball. Walbeck, and now we got a foul on Julian Blackman. That'll be his first and the team's fifth. Inbound to Newbold. Trapped in the corner. Able to get out of it. Newbold terminates out to Parker for three. Off the mark, rebound grab by Jerice Blackman. Hands off Julian, now on the push with the Lancers. Julian crossover down the lane, left hand, and he's fouled. We'll see where the foul occurs. He was swatted away by Yoli Child to be a two-shot foul.
Charge to number 15.
And the foul will go on Green. It'll be 2 free throws for Julian Blackman.
Fourth team foul.
Blackman got the first and the second. 4-point lead for Layton. Up the floor now with Youngblood. Parker in the corner to Newbold. Back up top, Parker cross court to Newbold. Or pardon me, Youngblood. Holman drop it into Childs. Trapped along the baseline. Childs throws it off at Jacoby Camp and will stay here. Childs inbound to Newbold, out to Jason Youngblood. Up top, Newbold pulls for three. Blocked by Julian Blackman. Ball still loose, claimed by Jerice. Ahead to Camp. Camp goes at Newbold. Float off the glass, can't get to go. Tipped up, Jerice Blackman gets it back. It will go back up, but I would call the foul on the floor, wipe off the bucket. It'll be the 15th foul on the Miners.
Foul is charged. Layton on the baseline.
The only person that might have longer arms than Holman is Jerice Blackman. And the foul goes on Holman. Camp fall away, Jay is good.
Number 4, Jacoby Camp for Layton.
First points of the game for Jacoby Camp. Youngblood, drop in Holman. Power dribble, gets it up, and a foul on Jacoby Camp. 16th foul on Layton, the first on Jacoby. Smote Lokotui comes on the floor now as Holman gets another breather. Down the lane, send out to Cragen for three. That's off the mark, rebound, tipped down and cleared. Now in the hands of Lokotui. Leave it along the baseline. Dason Youngblood gets the baseline jumper.
Dason Youngblood for Bingham.
Brother Daler was a longtime starter for the Bingham Miners. Dad Kendall, one of the outstanding AAU coaches in the state of Utah. 2:40 now remaining in the second quarter. Cross court Armistead. Blackman send out Armistead for three. Well off the mark, that's off of Camp, and we'll go the other way with Bingham. 2:25 remaining in the first half. Bingham trailing 25-23 the Lancers. Up top with Childs, inside Newbold, send out, three on the way from Lokotui, well off the mark, and still loose. Newbold goes up with the left hand and finishes.
32, Josh Newbold for Bingham.
Pick up the floor now with Blackman. Blackman down the lane, try to leave that for Camp, a little too sharp. And we'll go back to Bingham. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Up top with Childs. Bingham looking to reclaim the lead. Along the baseline, Newbold, cut off by Kemp. Sent out to Parker. Parker down the lane, hard to the hole, and they get him with the charge. He came down hard. Jerice Blackman draws the charge. And hopefully everything's okay with Layton Parker and his sharpshooter here in the first half. So Parker goes to the bench. He'll be attended to. That was a nasty fall. Had a couple of those this tournament. Luckily, nothing serious has happened. Cross court to Watts. Watts inside out to Julian Blackman, who pulls for three. Off the mark, rebound tipped out, now taken by Jerice. Jerice working on the smaller Youngblood. He's trapped, gets it off to Kemp. Off the glass, too strong. Rebound taken by Youngblood. On the run now with the Miners. Pulls up, a transition jumper, rims out, and rebound claimed by Kemp. Putting it on the floor now with Layton. Kemp. Up top of Blackman. 1:05 remaining in the first half. High post, Jerice, turnaround, Jay, and it goes in. that kind of first half for Jerice Blackman. Got 12 points, first points of the second quarter, and a 2-point lead for the Lancers. 45 seconds remaining. Outside Lokotui. He'll drive the lane, float up with the right hand.
Number 35,
Lokotui with his first point ties us back up at 27, 30 seconds remaining in the half. Blackman send out Jerice. 4-3 off the mark, rebound tipped up, and then claimed by Dason Youngblood on the push. 20 seconds remaining. Youngblood reverses out, hands up to Kyle Gehrig, who's going to hold on for the final shot of the first half. 10 seconds remaining. Gehrig crossed to Youngblood. 5 seconds. Back to Gehrig. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Still loose. Gehrig, this will count if it goes. And that'll do it. We'll head to the locker rooms. All tied up. Bingham 27. Layton 27 at the half.
High School Rewind is excited to have Nudge as our Player of the Game sponsor. Nudge is one of the fastest growing companies in Utah Valley. With over 500 employees, Nudge is one of the largest contributors of volunteer community outreach programs. To learn more about Nudge and their program, visit www.nudge.com.
Start of the second quarter, and we'll start with the Lancers. The Lancers led most of that first half as Blackman drives and puts it off the glass and in.
Number 1, Julian Blackman for Layton.
And Julian Blackman now with 9 points. Lob in to Childs. On the baseline, Childs fall away and one. Yoli Childs has 8 points. We'll go to the line looking for the +1 and the lead for Bingham.
His second.
And Childs hits the free throw, and it's now a Bingham 30-29 lead. Off the screen of Jerice, Julian drives the lane and lays it up and in. So often in almost every game, Julian Blackman is a true mismatch on the floor for Layton. Playing the point, being that athletic. There's not very many guards in the state that can stay in front of him. Gehrig floats it, can't get it to go. Tipped up and then rebounded by Jerice, stolen by Holman. Holman now fouled by Julian Blackman. That'll be his second. And it'll be free throws for Holman. And now 7-7. Up the floor with Julian Blackman. Pulls inside the three-point arc, can't get it to go. Tipped out by Kemp, tracked down by Watts. Watts now up top with Blackman. He'll reset the offense. Bingham 32, Layton 31. Julian working off the dribble, can't get it to go. Ball still loose, tracked down by Kemp. Kemp back to Blackman along the baseline. He gives it back to Kemp. Kemp is fouled and is swatted away by Newbold. And it should be 2 shots coming the way of Jacoby Kemp. And Kemp hits both free throws, and Layton reclaims the lead. Steal by Watts, out to Blackman. Blackman down the lane, floated up and score it. It rolled around the rim a couple times and then finally dropped for Jerice. And it's a 35-32 lead for the Lancers. Dason Youngblood in the corner to Newbold. Now drop it in to Childs. Double team there. Childs right hand hook wouldn't go. Rebound taken by Julian Blackman. Blackman bringing in the front court. Drop into Kemp, and Kemp goes up and lays it in. 4 points for Kemp. Timeout, Coach Schroeder. 5:51 remaining in the third quarter. Layton 37, Bingham 32. Out of the timeout, here's Kyle Gehrig. Up top to Youngblood. Youngblood looking into Childs. Gehrig on the baseline, jump it up, rolls off. Tipped up and then claimed by Julian Blackman. Quickly ahead to Watts. Watts going at Yoli Childs. Left hand can't get to go. Tipped up by Kemp and claimed by Newbold. On the push now with Youngblood. Off the hands of Holman. And we'll go the other way, and Holman comes down holding his right ankle. Back down the floor with Jerice Blackman and the Lancers looking to extend their lead. Blackman pulls for a long two, can't get it to go. Tipped out by Watts and claimed by Julian Blackman. He sends out to Jerice, who pulls for three. Jerice Blackman hits his second three of the game, and it's an 8-point lead for Layton. Third largest lead. Drop it into Childs. Double team comes. Childs now found, no, travel. Try to split the double. And Travels will go the other way with Layton. After the turnover. Here's Jerice working on Childs one-on-one. Pulls again for three. And the heat check is off the mark. On the push now with Youngblood. Give it up to Childs. In the corner to Matthews. Back to Childs along the baseline. Childs gets the block on Blackman and see if they give him the shots. And that's correct. Just like earlier where they called it on Kemp and it was on, or called on Blackman, it was on Kemp. But either way, Childs along the baseline. He's fouled again on the floor. And this one will be against Julian Blackman. And it'll be his third. 14 fouls on the Lancers. Lob in to Newbold. And Newbold lays it up and in.
Basket by number 32, Josh Newbold for Bingham.
6-point lead for the Miners, or pardon me, for the Lancers. And they're going to get Blackman with the travel. And we go the other way. Here's Youngblood. Bingham looking to continue to cut into this deficit. Tipped up by Watts, saved in to Blackman. Nice play by Dallin Watts. On the push with Julian. Timeout. Coach Miller. Full timeout. And we'll take it with him. 3:53 remaining in the third quarter. Layton 40, Bingham 34. 3:50 remaining in the third quarter. Blackman in the corner to Watts. Drop it inside to Jerice. Jerice working on Matthews, sends up to Julian. Now on the base, or in the corner with Roberts. Back up top to Blackman. Working on Youngblood. Blackman floated up and score it.
Julian Blackman for Layton.
Julian Blackman has had 2 outstanding games to start out the state tournament. Now has 12 points. Back out to Youngblood. He'll drive. Try to dish to Newbold. Drop it inside now to Childs along the baseline. Fall away, Jay is good. Back down the floor. Well, Blackman now 11 points for Yoli Childs. Off the screen to Jerice into the corner. Watts for three. Dallin Watts from downtown.
Dallin Watts.
Back down the floor with the Miners. Here's Walbeck. Back up top, Newbold. He'll pull for three. And he answered three from Newbold.
Josh Newbold.
45-39. Back out, Jerice pulls for three. And that's off the mark. Rebound grab by Newbold. On the push now with Youngblood. .2:15 on a rolling clock in the third quarter. Off the screen to Newbold on the angle with Walbeck. In the corner to Matthews. Back to Walbeck looking inside the Childs. Three on the way from Matthews. And Jordan Matthews comes off the bench. And it's the long three. And now 45-42. Jacoby Kemp. Now to Watts. Watts hands back to Blackman. Jerice working on Childs. Leaves it to Steele Roberts, who floats it too strong along the baseline. Now in the hands of Newbold. On the push, Youngblood to Matthews. Can't keep his feet. Matthews goes out of bounds. And we'll go the other way with the Lancers. Cragen comes on for the Lancers. As Watts will take a seat along with Armistead comes on as Steele Roberts goes to the bench. Julian cross court to Cragen. High post to Dries, back to Cragen, drive the lane, float up, no, got his own rebound and put it back up and in.
Number 10, Matt Cragen for Layton.
6 points for Cragen and a 5-point lead for Layton. 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Youngblood sent out to Gierig. Gierig back to Youngblood. Try to get that in to Newbold. And Lokatui going to get called for the foul as he poked that ball out of the hands of Dries Blackman. And we'll go the other way with Layton. Second team foul on the Miners. Up the floor now with Julian Blackman. Cross court Armistead. Armistead back up top to Blackman. Now down to 30 seconds. Armistead steps inside the three-point line. Dries back up top, Julian. Backs out with 20 seconds. Off the screen of Edwards. 15 seconds now on the clock. 10 seconds now remaining for the Lancers in the third quarter. Lokatui come out, put pressure. 5 seconds, send out to Armistead. Armistead thought about three, hangs on, 2 seconds. 1 second, got to get a shot off. Cragen at the horn.
At the end of the third.
And at the end of three, the Layton Lancers with a 47-42 lead over Bingham, heading to the fourth and final frame. Fourth quarter, and we'll start with the Miners. Gierig up top to Green. Lokatui drives, send out Gierig for three. Off the mark, rebound. Claimed by Lokatui. Gives up to Holman. Holman floated up, no. Rebound taken by Blackman. And still waiting for the call. Blackman has the ball poked out of his hands and will stay here. Armistead. Still looking, gets it in to Edwards. Edwards to Dries Blackman, float up the left hand, couldn't get it to go. Off the hands of Edwards, and we'll go the other way with the Miners. Up the floor with Green and Bingham. Lokatui terminates. Edwards back in the corner, Gierig. Gierig drive the baseline, float off the glass and in. Nice take and finish by Kyle Gierig.
For the Miners.
Down the floor with Julian Blackman. Cross to Cragen. Cragen back to Blackman. He'll step inside, back up to Cragen. Cragen will pull for three. Back rim, rebound. Claimed by Childs. Down the floor now with Green. Green in the corner, Gierig. Gierig drive the baseline. Up top to Green. Drop it in now, Holman. Back out, Gierig. Green, here's Childs. Childs holding, working on Edwards. Jump hook, too strong, and a rebound taken by Cragen. Back down the floor with the Lancers. Here's Cragen inside Dries Blackman. Up top, Julian. And now a foul on Lokatui. That'll be the fourth team foul on the Miners. Steele Roberts back on the floor for Coach Miller. As Cragen will take a seat. Armistead with Gierig with him. Blackman has that one slapped away by Gierig. They're going to hit him with the foul. And that'll be the first foul on Gierig and the 15th foul on the Miners. In the corner, Roberts. Up top of Blackman. Blackman cross court, Armistead 4-3. Off the mark, and rebound claimed by Gierig. Quickly ahead to Holman. Holman lays it off the glass, blocked by Blackman. Outside, Green for three. That one's short, and rebound Edwards quickly ahead. Steele Roberts still holding on. What a block by Dries Blackman. He's got the hops and the wingspan. Slapped that one off the backboard. Armistead still just hanging out. 5 minutes now remaining in the fourth quarter. Up top of Blackman. Blackman drives out to Jerice. He'll reset. Coach Miller wanted to eat some clock here. 4:45 remaining in the fourth quarter, and a 3-point lead for Layton. Here's Julian. Again, they're going to spread the floor. Yoli Childs out of the middle of the key. Should take advantage of that. Up top now, still Roberts. Cross court to Armistead. Back to Julian Blackman. That was a dangerous pass, and now Lokatui going to get the foul. That'll be his third, and the team's sixth will be free throws. The remaining 4:21. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Layton looking to extend this 3-point lead. Here's Armistead. Gives it up to Blackman. Now Roberts. Long possession here for the Lancers. Armistead in the corner to Edwards. Edwards drives the baseline. Kicks out to Jerice. Up top, Armistead back to Blackman. Here's Armistead, drop it in now to Jerice Blackman. Blackman spins toward the baseline, is fouled, they count the bucket. That position was over a minute long, and it culminates in a bump and bucket for Jerice Blackman. Blackman at the line for the +1. His second and one of the day. 6-point lead, Layton 50, Bingham 44, 3:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Green up top to Holman, pulls for three, and Jared Holman. He's had himself quite a day. Up the floor, Armistead, give it up to Blackman. In the corner to Edwards. Edwards has the ball stripped by Green, out of bounds off of Bingham, and will stay here. Inbound to the backcourt to Julian Blackman. 3-point lead for Lancers. Had a minute-long possession on their last possession, and this set is the take time off the clock set. Sent up top to Jerice Blackman. Yoeli Childs with him. Childs gonna work out the screen to Edwards. Fall away, Jerice Blackman. He's feeling it today. Blackman over 20 points. Green into the corner to Newbold. Newbold down the baseline, and we got a foul. And the foul will go against Jerice Blackman, I believe. That'll be his third. Green triggers into Gehrig. 2.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Green back up top to Gehrig. Cross court, Green. Baseline jumper, Newbold. And Newbold.
Josh Newbold.
Got 11 points. 52-49. Here's Blackman. Up top, still Roberts. He'll send out to Blackman. In the corner at Armistead. Armistead will look inside to Jerice. Armistead still working on the dribble. Now Jerice Blackman. And we have an official timeout. I think they're seeing there's some blood on Gehrig's sleeve. Roberts to trigger in. We got the blood figured out with Gehrig. Blackman hits the deck and then a foul. That's a tough call. It looked like he just lost his foot there. And the second good as well. Julian Blackman having an outstanding day as well. Up the floor now with Green. Green terminates. Still looking. He'll pull from the junction, and Green with his first points of the day. Quickly down the floor now with the Layton Lancers. Up top, Jerice Blackman. Near side, Armistead. Up top with Armistead, 1:05 now on the clock, remaining in the fourth quarter, and 3-point lead for the Lancers. Up top, Blackman send out to Roberts, cross court to Armistead. Up top, Roberts getting him play keep away. They don't have to put the ball on the floor. They don't have to go to the hole. And now a foul on Yoli Childs. So that'll be his first. It's 19 fouls on Bingham, so we double bonus for the remaining 53.7. Roberts hit the first, he gets the second. 5-point lead for the Lancers. Bingham's got to move quickly. 50 seconds remaining. Outside Holman. Now Newbold, he'll pull for three. Off the front of the iron, ball still loose. Saved in by Holman, but they didn't get it across, and we'll go the other way with Layton. The Lancers 42 seconds away from the semis. 40 seconds remaining. Bingham doesn't have to quite play the foul yet, and there it is on Gehrig. That'll be number 4. Edwards comes on the floor. Ahead to Green. Green quickly, 35 seconds, leaves it to Childs, who goes up and flushes with 2 hands. And in a timeout taken by Coach Schroeder. 31.6 remaining in the fourth quarter, and a 5-point lead for Layton. Roberts to trigger in. And he'll get it in to Blackman, gets it back to Armistead. Armistead ahead to Watts, saves it in Jerice, and Jerice will put it up and in. Down the floor now with Childs, who'll pull for 3 off the front of the rim. Tracked down by Gehrig, 15 seconds remaining. Give it up to Childs, again pulls for 3. And that was partially blocked. Armistead took a shot to, or pardon me, that was Steele Roberts. Got poked in the face. First free throw good from Cragen, has another. And gets that one. Quick up the floor now with Bingham, trailing by 10. Green, hands back to Gehrig. And that'll do it. The Layton Lancers move on to the 5A semifinals with a 62-53 win over the Bingham Miners. Congratulations to Coach Kelby Miller and the Lancers. 2 wins on the year against Bingham. And for Yoli Childs and the Miners, second straight year, tough losses in the quarterfinals. But a lot of talent returning for Coach Schroeder. And Layton looks like a team that we thought was going to compete for the 5A tournament in this one. Stay tuned for our post-game wrap-up. Again, our final score, the Lancers 62, Bingham 53. And welcome back to the D Event Center. Again, our final score, the Layton Lancers 62, the Bingham Miners 53. And the Layton Lancers move on to the semifinals, 1 game away from the 5A state championship. They'll have the winner of Viewmont and Lone Peak here on Friday. And what a game today from Layton. A complete 180 from what we saw on Monday night as they struggled against Hillcrest. They came out focused today, and they really saw that from their leader, Jerice Blackman, who had an outstanding day, and he's our nudge player of the game. Jerice had 24 points leading the way for the Layton Lancers, had an outstanding day from the field. Also, Julian Blackman played outstanding as well. And both Blackmans controlled the ball on offense, an outstanding job on defense, and got the job done. They spent a couple of moments on Bingham. An outstanding year for Coach Schroeder and the Miners. And Yoli Childs today had 13 points. Jared Holman had 14. A couple of players put things in, but just could never quite get in front of Layton in this game. They tied it up a couple times. We had a number of lead changes in the first half, but the second half was controlled by the Lancers and what they did in transition. An outstanding day for Coach Miller and the Lancers. Again, our final score, the Layton Lancers 62, the Bingham Miners 53. Our nudge player of the game, Jerice Blackman. With over 500 employees, Nudge is one of the fastest growing companies in Utah Valley. To learn more about Nudge and their community outreach program, go to www.nudge.com. Again, want to thank you for joining us on our stream. Layton Lancers moving on to the semifinals of the win over Bingham. For Vince Francis and Thompson Coles, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching High School Rewind's coverage of the 2015 5A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament, brought to you on live.ksl.com, DeseretNews.com, and anytime on Xfinity On Demand.